Hi, I'm Emily Iles, and this is my 2020 sophomore year SAE project. For this project, I had three main goals. Those were 1. Doing thorough research on not only the plants themselves, but also the environments that they required to be able to thrive and produce fruits or vegetables for me and my family to consume. 2. Being self-sufficient in growing vegetables, and 3. Also being self-sufficient in growing fruits. My project for 2020 was in the garden, and it was a research, experimental, plant systems-based orchard project. I would also like to say that my project was around 80 to 90% successful. There was most definitely food growing, but I personally do not think it was enough to count for self-sufficiency. So, what did I do, and how did I do it? That is actually fairly simple and can be broken down into these 9 easy steps. Number 1, research. That was basically just researching all of the different plants, figuring out what they would need and how much space they would take up. Step 2 was preparation. That was going out into my backyard, checking the areas, finding which places would be best for a small garden. Number 3, buying the supplies. After step 1 and 2 were complete, I went down to Lowe's and I picked up fertilizer, soil, plants, and I brought them back home. Step 4 was planting everything once I got home. Step 5 is fairly self-explanatory, providing the proper care that each plant needed, because no two plant types are the same and all of them require different things. Number 6, documenting the process. That was taking pictures of things, making notes, writing everything down, making sure I had the correct dates when entering it into my AET. Number 7 was picking the fruits and vegetables. After there were finally fruits and vegetables growing on the plants, I was tasked with the job of getting them off and tasting them, seeing if they were good, if I had done my job well. Step 8 was finishing off the project, which is what I'm doing now. And step 9, continuing the garden growth. That is just basically how I'm going to keep the garden growing, even though this project is no longer going on. Now, I must admit that there were a few challenges, but I also gained some new skills. It was hard to remember to go out and water the garden or keep up with taking pictures, and worst of all, stopping my dog from going around and destroying everything by digging, stepping all over the plants, jumping on them, biting them, you name it, she was trying to do it. So I had to stop her. Now, 5 very useful skills that I learned were time management, sticking to a good schedule, accepting that things are going to go wrong and there's nothing you can do about it, but just figure it out as you go along. I had to learn the struggles of keeping plants alive because it's not easy. And I had to learn a lot of patience. There were also a few things that I wish I would have done differently, like having better time management. A lot of the times I would forget to water them, or I wouldn't water them in a day, and I would have to rush out at like 1 a.m. and water them because I wanted to make sure that they were getting the type of water that they needed, even if it was really late at night and I was tired. I probably should have started the project earlier, and this can also roll into deciding on a project quicker. But my main problem with that was when COVID-19 hit, it really just put a stop to all of my plans for my dog diet because I didn't have any access to the things that I was going to need for that diet to work. So I had to switch the project a couple times, which led to it starting later, which meant I had to put a lot more time and effort into it per week to get the project done and completed for the due date. Now, some goals that I would have for the future would definitely be to continue growing the size of my garden, because right now it's pretty small, and I think that I would just love to have it bigger and have a bunch of different things, because that way I can work towards being self-sufficient, because even though this project doesn't go on forever, in a sense it does, because this isn't just something that I'm going to stop after I turn in the project. This is something that's going to affect me until I probably go to college, is probably when I'll pass this off to my parents to do if they choose to continue it. So that is something that I would really be interested in doing, is just making it bigger and making it more plentiful. And I would also love to resume the research for my dog's weight loss diet. Because that got halted, hopefully when all of this is done, I can continue doing that and get her on a diet, get her back to a healthy weight that she should be at. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this is Emily Iles. Bye.